They were built to last, and they have. They were intended to awe and amaze, and they do. For 5 millennia, the ancient world's last wonder has dominated the Giza Plateau, and the story is far from over. In the shadow of the pyramids, the digging goes on.
Yes, there is lots and lots still under the sand. People think that we know everything about ancient Egypt. Every day we discover new things, and every day we reconsider what we knew.
The pyramids of the Old Kingdom are the pride of Egypt, and Giza, where they stand, is archaeology's holy of holies, where the pharaohs and the nobles pursued the great dream of their age, eternal life. The first Australian to work here is Professor Naguib Kanawati. It's the culmination of a lifetime of scholarship and excavation to explore the vast network of tombs at the foot of the pyramids, Giza's City of the Dead.
It's not really studying one tomb, but it's studying a whole family, the history of one family. You have, you know, the man, his parents, his grandparents, his parents-in-law, and they are all buried in the same area. The whole idea is that the Egyptian wanted to be with his family in life and then hereafter. This particular kilt is specific to a certain period.
To record and study that life is a painstaking task. On their tomb walls, the Egyptian nobles painted every detail of what they ate, wore, hunted, and worshipped.
We just record every line, every detail.
Naguib and his small team trace exactly what they find. Every fold of fabric, every curl of hair. A 5,000-year-old account of the way it was.
These people can tell us, really, how the ancient Egyptians lived it. These people are the ones who managed the administration, who governed the country, and certainly among them we have the ministers, the viziers, the doctors, the architects, the accountants, every job. They ran the country. They really governed the country.
Though undiminished in scale, time and pollution have gnawed at the Giza monuments. Humans did far worse. The Sphinx lost its nose and beard, not to Napoleon as often rumoured, but to a religious fanatic. While most of the shining white limestone which coated the pyramids was carted off to build houses for the living. The keeper of the plateau, Dr. Zaki Hawass, now tightly protects his site and all that lies beneath it. There is so much still to be found, isn't there? I mean, you're talking about all the time new discoveries.
You know, I always say that we discovered until now 30% of the Egyptian monuments. Still, there is 70% underneath the ground.
So the work will never be done?
Always the sand of Egypt reveal lots of secrets. I would like no excavation at Giza and Saqqara for this coming 10 years, and encourage people, scholars like Dr. Naguib Kanawati, to publish what is not published.
Dr. Zaki Hawass is no run-of-the-mill archaeologist. He is the impresario of Egyptology, a star of screen and print.
Any scholar that has the capacity of the publication of Dr. Kanawati, I will encourage him and Dr. Kanawati to do more work like this.
There's no problem with money for
no one touches a grain of Giza sand without Dr. Zahi's say-so.
If you have a good publication of a tomb, if anything is stolen, you will know right away.
I want to protect what we have. I hope in the future that we can stop excavations in Egypt for this coming 10 years and concentrate only on the publication and the conservation of what we have.
The early urge to dig and keep digging drew archaeologists and adventurers from around the world. And of course, they reaped rich rewards. In the rush to excavate, scholarship ran a slow second. Vital records remain stored in suitcases even today, while some of what was published turned out to be flat wrong.
This is the tomb of someone called Journeyman, who was the overseer of the treasury, so he was a pretty important person.
Does it matter that the old scholars got it wrong? Well, yes, because they are the source for everyone else.
And this is reasonably well represented by Juncker. But here there are two men playing a game. It is similar to our snake and ladders. And you can see the snake quite clearly here. He represented it looking like practically a pot. It looks like a spoonbill in
It's
ours,
the small
and
details which make history,
the beak
but those
clearly
details
indicates
must
that
be
it is.
exactly right.
And the butterfly, I mean...
The butterfly is totally missing here in Juncker's record.
So in a real sense, is what we know about the history of ancient Egypt to date, is much of it wrong?
Almost certainly, yes. I mean, if you read a book 10 years old, it's not worth reading, because things are rewritten, reconsidered constantly based on new finds.
I think the most important thing that we'll get from Naguib Kanawat's work, that we will have the tombs that has been discovered before. The publication of these tombs is not really accurate enough because it has been published in the last century. For the last 50 years, Egyptology developed a lot, and that's why I think we'll gain from his work new publication of the tombs with beautiful photographs, and this would be important for us even to protect the tomb from theft. If any tomb is stolen, we can already know what is in the tomb because of the publication.
Okay, and we go now to the downstairs to the burial chamber. I'll go first. Watch your step as you come down.
I will, I assure you.
Just don't fall on me.
Is this one of the deeper ones, Naguib?
No, this is 6 meters. We have others up to 21 meters deep. Well, we are now, here is the burial chamber, which is about 6 meters underground.
We descend into the treasurer's tomb, his house of eternity, richly coloured, complete with stone sarcophagus.
It is one of the most unusual burial chambers in its decoration, in the fact that it is decorated with scenes of daily life. There is no other burial chamber like this one. It's unique.
The paintings describe his life.
Not a single
The
example
hieroglyphs
where
are a
we have
virtual shopping list for the gods, ordering food and wine for the hereafter.
And it includes everything, all types of birds, cuts of meat, different oils, different wines, different beers, you name it. For example, here we have, this is wine, different type of wine, another wine, and so on. And really, they wanted everything. So it's almost 100 items listed here that includes all Egyptian food. And that is a huge source of information about what they ate.
And that is what the only record we have.
The only record we have of this wall is this one.
But this wall, after just 50 years exposure, a complete blank. If not recorded, it would be lost forever.
It has completely disappeared, completely disappeared. An archaeologist who excavates but does not publish is committing almost a sinful act, because he is in the best position to record it, and nobody will ever be able to recreate the same atmosphere and moments that he discovered the objects at.
These humble tombs were discovered 10 years ago close to the pyramids at Giza. The site is now famous as the Cemetery of the Workers, the 20,000 or so ordinary Egyptians who bent their backs lifting giant stones for the pharaohs, and at the end of their earthly lives made their own modest bid for eternity through their tombs. Scarcely a fifth of the cemetery has been excavated so far. They'll be digging at Giza for decades. But already they've discovered enough to blow away many of the old myths. So the old Cecil B. DeMille movies with the slaves
It's
being beaten...
completely wrong. Hollywood completely created this nonsense about slavery. Slaves built the pyramids. No, this discovery proved to the public that the builder of the pyramids were Egyptians. They were not people came from lost civilization or from Atlantis or whatever, or from out of the space as you have everywhere. And also, it shows that they were not slaves, because if they were slaves, they will never build their tombs by the pyramid, and they will never prepare their tombs for eternity like kings and queens.
Cue the pyramids. Though camels have outnumbered tour buses since September the 11th, they are Giza's, in fact Egypt's, main tourist attraction, an object of endless fascination. Not, however, for Naguib Kanawati. You have rudely described the pyramids as a pile of rocks, just a pile of rocks.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that it is just a pile of rocks, but it is certainly a huge construction. But personally, I'm interested in life of people. And the pyramids did not record the life of people. Burial chambers in the pyramid are bare, no inscriptions. In the tombs of officials, you have all this wealth of information of daily life. I'm very interested in the life of people.
But Zahi Hawass isn't buying the argument.
I think the pyramids are not a pile of rocks because they are giving us the intelligence of people. They're teaching you how can we learn from those people. Then it's a pile of rocks if you do not understand them. It's a pile of rocks if you do not know how those pyramids can tell us technology, science, mystery, and magic. Then I always tell the children who comes by here, those are not rocks. If you understand what's behind the rocks, you will know that these rocks made Egypt. From the rocks, architects, astronomy, art, and science.
For all the grandeur of the enterprise, this is the reality of the Egyptologist's life. A small, cheap hotel and long hours, inking over the tracings, reconstructing the architecture. And after 5,000 years, wouldn't you know, there's a time pressure. The digging season is brief, the need to publish is strong.
It is hard work. It is very hard work, particularly the way I do it, because I spend this is my vacation. You know, this is the time which I can really spend on the beach, and rather than that, I come here. I love it. I love it more than the beach. But then that's not the end of it. I go back home, spend sleepless nights writing down, and as soon as I finish, I come back again. And I haven't had...
You're an addict.
Yes. I haven't had one summer for 25 years.
Is it
And I'm not complaining.
No, I mean, it's obviously a labor of love for you.
Yeah. Yeah, I love it, and the more the better. This is the pyramids of Zoser and the funerary temple of Zoser.
And Naguib Kanawati has more, having been granted access to another Old Kingdom site near to, but even more ancient than Giza.
Not only that they are like a bunch of papyrus.
It was here at Saqqara that the Egyptians moved away from mud brick and started their long love affair with stone. Here too that they began playing around with pyramids, taking those steep angles step by step.
The Egyptian believed in perpetual life, so he recorded everything in a very durable way on stone. We know architecture, art, food, family relationship. We even have love songs. And because it survived so well, and if it is done properly, you know who is who and who married who and produced whom and became what and so on.
You make it sound a little like a high-grade soap opera.
It's almost unfolding novel. That's how I feel about really putting this evidence together, because you get to know them personally. So this is the tomb of someone called Edut, but originally, actually, it belonged to someone called Ihi, who was the vizier under King Onas.
With their tombs and mummies, it's easy to see the Egyptians as being obsessed with death. But it was life they loved so much, they wanted it to last, and for them to be remembered forever, as, in a sense, they are. For Naguib Kanawati, it's the opportunity of a lifetime to study a great civilization in the most civilized way imaginable.
I love coffee, and to have it just delivered to the door of the tomb and to drink it in front of the Great Pyramid, absolute luxury. My fate, my luck, was to be invited to work in this magnificent cemetery. I can't believe my good luck to be able to, work in a tomb, and when I'm tired, just look out and see the Great Pyramid in front of me. This is the general view I see every day. Well, I'm not complaining. It's the greatest view from any office, and I have it permanently.